This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, hello. Oh, somebody in the car. Hello, if it's okay, we just give it a couple of minutes to give everyone a chance to get on, if that's all right. Just letting everyone in now. Check the numbers. 59. Wow, if this was my TikTok, I'd be a famous man. 60, we're doing fantastically well. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sure some of you might recognize me anyway. It's Alan Hayward. I'm head of geography at Belmont, and obviously we will have the pleasure of taking your lovely youngsters up to the Lake District in a couple of weeks' time. And obviously, I'll just give it another minute or two. So obviously, as you can see, I'm just filling the time with a little bit of chat, if that's okay. I won't tell you my holiday plans or anything. I don't think you want to know that. But just make sure we got the kind of numbers hopefully we need in. But obviously, being fair, everyone has arrived on time, so I don't want to delay you. I'm intending to be, or hoping not to be more than about 20 minutes. So I hope that's okay. If you're stuck in traffic around the Apex corner, it'll probably give you something to do. So I think we're kind of heading towards 70, and that's 3 minutes past 6. So if that's okay, I will get going. So again, just in case anyone wasn't there before, hello and welcome. Obviously, this is Alan Hayward from Belmont Geography, and obviously, hopefully you're here to, because you have a child in year 7. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing here. And obviously, I'm going to have the pleasure of taking them all up to the Lake District on the 6th of June, Monday, the 6th of June, from Monday to Friday. I'm sorry, not the weekend as well. Sorry about that. But let me get going if that's okay. I've got a little kind of slide presentation to share with you, because obviously, I'm sure you'd prefer to see that than me. So here we go. If I can just check my skills, and hopefully it will come up now on your screen. Just trying to get that up now. There we go. Just move that out of the way. So the geography field trip, obviously, as I said, is going from Monday the 6th to Friday the 10th of June. We're going to arrive at, with any luck with traffic, arrive at kind of normal school time on the Monday. So that's about 8 a.m. Dropping, and hopefully if the weather's good, just dropping at the front crossing. And if the weather again is good, we'll stay on the master's lawn with bags and suitcases and such like. I will have to say though, if it's possible for cars not to, obviously if some people would like to stay to wave goodbye, then please don't stay parked at the top, because obviously that will cause absolute chaos. So if that is something you're intending to do, I'm afraid you'll have to find alternative parking, because it will obviously fill up, because we'll have 3 coaches in as well. We have just about 130 children coming on the trip, so it's the whole of year 7 hopefully, so it'll be an absolute wonderful experience for them all. And we will be back on Friday at approximately 4 o'clock. Obviously, we will give kind of updates to the school office as we come through, with traffic obviously being maybe a factor there, but they will give updates if we're going to be hugely different from that time. So let's see if we can get going. Where are we going and why are we going and who's coming? So I'll try and take you through all of this. If I say at the end, I will obviously let opportunities for question and answer. Obviously, I have Madam McCrill and Ms. Alderton are also on the Zoom at the moment. So if you want to write any questions in the chat as we go through, they might be able to answer them as we go through, or obviously at the end, we'll try and pick them up together if that helps. So who's coming? Obviously me there. I am obviously the one on the left, although in case you're not sure. But we have 15 staff coming. Obviously, some of those have been before. We've obviously got a member of SMT as well, and obviously quite a few of those members of staff have medical backgrounds. Well, I say medical backgrounds. Obviously, they are first aid trained, so obviously that's really good. Also, obviously, all the people on the Real Adventure who will be taking some of the activities are first aid trained as well. So just just give you a heads up about that, because obviously make us feel a little bit more safer that we're taking your precious cargo up with us and doing some interesting things. So where are we going? As far away as we can from Apex and all the traffic, we're going right up to the Lake District. Absolutely stunning place. Obviously, if any of you had the opportunity to go there, it's absolutely beautiful, and that's why we go there, because it's so different from here. Hopefully, when we get there, we're in Ambleside, stunning location, the YHA right on the waterfront there, and we take over 2 whole floors. They have locked entrances, both ends of the corridors. Obviously, there's staff on all those floors as well. The building's locked at night, and the only people who can get in are people with fobs. They're Salto locked. So hopefully you'll feel secure in that fact as well. It's a good drive. Sorry, I missed that. I'll carry on if that's okay. It's a good drive up there, I'm afraid. So obviously the 3 coaches will head off. We'll have a stop somewhere on a motorway service on the way up, about 2.5, 3 hours on the way up, and then continue up there. So I'm afraid it's a full day of traveling pretty much. So if anyone obviously is not great on traveling, I wasn't great on coaches when I was younger, then obviously they might want to think about travel sickness tablets before we head off. We get up there kind of late afternoon and just do a little bit of unpacking and get an idea of rooms, and then off we go for a fantastic walk after we've had a little something to eat, to up some of the local hills and get amongst the beautiful scenery there. Splitting up into the kind of groups they'll be working with in all week. So it's about groups of 10 or thereabouts, and obviously they'll have a member of Belmont staff with them at all times, and one of the Real Adventure staff too. So that's why we go up there. Such a stunning place to go. Just moving on, if it will let me. There we go. So that's the building. Nice, attractive building. And as I said, just at the front there, obviously you can see we come straight on to the lake itself. Here's a few pictures inside. So obviously some of them might not be completely used to bunk beds, but obviously we always see who's fighting for the top ones. So of course they won't be doing that. They obviously have, some have their own ensuite, some of them have kind of shared facilities, but obviously it's only on that floor and only by our children. And obviously boys on one floor, girls on another floor, with staff on both floors, male and female, separated obviously as well. This is the dining hall downstairs, so obviously we can all get in there. We've also got another games room just through the doors there, and then through into another room at the end, nice big room. So we're the only school in there at the time. Hopefully for the entire time there could be another school on the top floor, but again they will be younger than us, so there's no issues there. And also they pretty much, because we've been there before and had them at the same time, they do or work pretty much different hours to us, so it doesn't really interfere with us at all. Oh, doesn't want to come up. There we go. Just to say, obviously, why we're doing it. Well, obviously, it is an educational tour trip, although obviously there's quite a lot of activities as well. We will be hoping to, we're building up with doing rivers in our lessons at the moment, and we will actually be doing a little project work when we come back, and that can even lead into Year 8 as well, when we get access to the IT suite, and so they can obviously primary data collection on the trip, and then when we come back, we'll actually be manipulating that data and making some graphs and things like that. So a great kind of build up to GCSE, giving them that opportunity. What do I need to talk about? Well, the big things really, I'm sure you'll be well aware, anyone who's sort of been out and about over the last couple of years when we've been not been able to travel, know that the biggest thing I can tell you is there's no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing. So we will be getting into rivers. We will be outside for most of the day, come rain or shine. We are up in the Lake District where it rains quite a lot, although we've been extremely lucky previously to have a few heat waves. So I'm afraid we have to cater for both eventualities. So we will need waterproof jackets. That means waterproof, not these lovely big fluffy puffy things, a proper waterproof jacket. So obviously I'm going to say something like Gore-Tex, if I mention a brand name, but that sort of thing, proper waterproof, not designer stuff, please. And also obviously the risk of there being a lot of sun, and obviously some of them are young skin. We've got to take care of that as well. So caps and thinking about some sunscreen or even sunblock. I can't kind of make that clear enough. I'll probably come and mention it again a few more times. I cannot control the weather. I pretty much try and control as many of the other variables as I can, but that is out of my control, as much as I do try and do my sun dance before we go. Also going in the water, if they have obviously Wellington boots, I'm not saying buying any, but if you have some available, that'd be fantastic. If not, then a second pair of old trainers, because they will get wet. There is a drying room that they can use there, that they can put them in, and obviously they'll be ready for the next day. But obviously it's nothing worse than having to stay in wet trainers, because there's a good chance to give you blisters. So at least 2 pairs of trainers would be extremely helpful. Thank you. Weather, I said I'd mention it again. I'm going to go straight into it again. I cannot control it. Please, please, please send them prepared, because there's nothing I can do once we're up there. I cannot control what's going to happen, whether it's warm or cold, wet or hot, and obviously the risk of quite strong sun. So waterproofs, please, layers, please. And obviously, as much as we're not sure it could happen, but if the sun does poke its head out, it'd be wonderful. Please, can we have some head coverings and things like that? Again, I'm saying nothing designer, because there's a good chance it will get wet, muddy, knocked off, lost, whatever happens, unfortunately, on these trips. But please, can they have as much of that as possible ready to go? But also, not in the biggest bag. I don't want them packing the kitchen sink. They have to move their bag. Obviously, I do help as much as I can, trying to get a little bit of a workout for me. But when there's 130 of them, I'm afraid by the end of it, my arms seem several inches longer if I'm carrying them up the stairs every time. We are going to be doing some amazing activities, which is obviously one of the reasons we go up there. We'll be climbing, abseiling, bouldering. We'll be gill scrambling. We'll be canoeing. And of course, we will be doing some geography as well, of course. But just so you're aware, obviously they're in small groups, like I said, 10 group with a member of Belmont staff and a member of the Real Adventure crew. And all of the staff from Real Adventure are recognised by the nationally recognised qualifications they need for that activity. So whether it's in climbing, whether it's in canoeing, and also if they're in canoeing, there'll also be a lifeguard, an open water lifeguard as well. If you don't know what gill scrambling is, it's absolutely fantastic, and you should have a go yourself if you ever get the chance. Something akin to canyoning. Working groups and sleeping groups. Please don't ask on the chat. I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret and won't be revealed to the last possible minute. I don't even know who I'm in a room with. Could be Mr. Ince, lucky me. But we'll keep that. Otherwise, we have just continue issues, and it will be announced at the last minute. It's only for 4 nights. Obviously, part of it is to social kind of opportunity for them to meet new people and make friends outside their normal circle of perhaps classmates and things like that anyway. Clothing list, this will be emailed to you to give you just obviously an idea. I'm not saying it's be all and end all, but it will just at least perhaps give you a starting point to kind of give you a guide. Obviously they're coming in casual clothing to travel up. No, we don't need any school clothing whatsoever. And things that we would really like, obviously I've just highlighted a little bit there, but as I said, this will be sent out. Things like their own named water bottle, but obviously we're trying to not use any disposable single-use plastic. Obviously waterproof coats, a little backpack or rucksack or whatever they have in that respect to take out what they need for the day, to keep their sandwiches, food, and maybe a second layer clothing and such like that with them, please. No mobiles. Obviously, I'm afraid I will come back to this again. I'm sure you're well aware by now. It's school policy. Absolutely no mobiles. Not with the SIM in or out or anything else, and no Wi-Fi enabled technology. School policy, if they're found with it, I'm afraid Mr. Roberts is quite strict about it. That probably will mean they go home. But what I really would like to ask is medication. Obviously, the school has some idea of what medication is required for your child, and maybe some of you have updated some of that on some of the forms that have been sent out already. But if there is new things that come along, please obviously let us know at the earliest opportunity. Please have medication in named bags, including doses and things like that, and preferably not given to us on the day of departure, because obviously then I'm just getting lots of stuff, which I'm trying to deal with 130 children as well. If we get all of that sorted as early as possible, obviously I do understand things come up at the last minute. That would be extremely helpful. Mr. Perrin will probably be doing most of the first aid on the trip. Also, obviously, children that have other things that they require medically, so auto injectors and EpiPens, such things, and spare inhalers and things like that. Obviously, again, the school will bring what that we have left at school with the nurse. But if you can have the spare one again named again, if possible, before, not on day of departure, that would be absolutely wonderful and much appreciated. So, but obviously, any more questions about that, obviously we'll discuss that if there's individual cases. Money. This is only a guide. Obviously, you might feel they don't need anything because they will be fed every day. But obviously, we do stop at a service station on the way up. We do stop at a service station on the way down. There could be opportunity for an ice cream up there. You never know your luck. So if you do want to send them with some pocket money or something, obviously you're more than welcome to. Please realise that there really isn't that much opportunity to spend money. So Obviously, we've had people come with crazy things before, like £50 notes and things like that, which obviously is just ridiculous because they can't change it, and obviously if they lose it, it's a disaster. So I'm saying, you know, absolute maximum £30 will be plenty of pocket money for them. So that's just not saying you need to send that. It's purely saying that would be, I would say, the absolute limit of what you would be required. No mobile phones. Oh, I'm saying it again. Please, please, please do not think that you know, oh, I really need to call. Then you really need to call. You know, there's a birthday, something like that. If there really is anything like that, it's not a problem at all. Obviously, all the staff will have mobiles, all the real adventure people will have mobiles. And obviously, if there is a birthday or something like that, there's no problem at all. You can use the school mobile or my mobile to call that evening, that morning, if that is something that obviously, you know, what they would like, you would like, then that's something we can discuss. But please, 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 no mobile devices. Thank you. Coaches, obviously there are packed lunches provided. I have to be honest, obviously a lot of children are quite happy to not bring their own packed lunch and see what they can find McDonald's or Burger King or such like at the service station. So that's obviously why, if you wanted to send them with money, but the school will be collecting or giving the opportunity for them to have a packed lunch if that's something they require, and we obviously will be taking that. So there's no need for you to provide one or send money, but I'm just saying sometimes that they might twist your arm and be quite keen on that. On the coach itself, obviously, because we have people who don't travel well, I would really like to say no food, thank you. Water is more than welcome on the coaches. Obviously, to stay hydrated, we don't want them getting headaches or anything, but no fizzy drinks, which is obviously, again, that's a risk of spilling, getting sticky, and obviously making people ill. If they do not travel well, again, it'd be fantastic to know in advance that they've taken their tablets. Perhaps we could choose that we make sure they sit them nearer the front, where they can a teacher can get and give them help more immediately if necessary. They might even be able to bring their own plastic bags and tissues. Obviously, we will have bring some ourselves, but obviously sometimes we can't get to them quick enough. And obviously just for their own, because I remember as a child how uncomfortable it makes you feel if that is something that you suffer from. If you can, you know, just organise yourself a little bit beforehand, that really is lovely for them, and obviously much nicer for some of the staff as well. So obviously, again, a little bit of repetition, but it's just making sure I'm being as clear as I can about things. So if there is any new medical information that hasn't been provided to us already, please let us know. We obviously any swimming issues, we will be taking information from the PE department. But again, if there's something that maybe we're not aware of and you'd like to inform us about, because they will be in water. Obviously, they will be wearing buoyancy aids in any deep water at all, otherwise they will not be allowed in. Dietary requirements, obviously, again, we have some of that already, obviously allergies and vegetarians and kosher and halal and whatever else is required. Please let us know, because obviously they have a nut-free kitchen and they're more than happy to help. Lovely people, we've been there for 6+ years in a row. They've really looked after us, and obviously they'd be more than happy to make sure that everyone, because we need people eating, because we're going to be active every day, and we want them fueled up and ready to go. They will and obviously are responsible for their own behavior. So if we have issues of anyone obviously endangering themselves or other people with some of the activities we're going to be doing, then they will be pulled off those activities. And obviously, I'm afraid, obviously, if it is something that is really concerning, then it will be something that might require them to be collected from the centre. Again, with COVID, obviously an issue at the moment. What we will be doing is obviously requesting if it's possible for you to test before you go. That would be absolutely wonderful. So obviously if we get them, 50 children on a coach and someone's got it, that's not going to be great for us. And if someone does become or show symptoms or become unwell up there, then obviously we will call you and ask you if it's okay to test them, the lateral flow test. And if they do become positive, obviously they will need to be collected, because we only have enough staff for each group of 10. The ratios are quite important on something like this. When we've got a multi-activities trip, we need to keep our staff with the groups that are doing the activities. Perhaps Madam Recrull might talk more about that at the end if anyone has any more queries about that. Again, we can send this out, so don't worry about copying it down now or memorizing it or taking screenshots unless that's something you want to do. Obviously, there will be a school emergency mobile on the trip. Please be aware that obviously it is for emergencies only, and obviously I can't guarantee to be answering it at any moment, because sometimes we're in places of no reception. obviously, as soon as I'm able, I will pick up any messages and obviously get back to you if there is something. And of course, if anything happens, untoward on the trip, then obviously we will be in touch with you immediately anyway. So if you hear nothing, you can assume everything's going swimmingly well. Yeah, but obviously, if that's something that some of you would like to know, then obviously that is available. We also will be having our kind of social media up on the trip, which obviously the staff are very kindly obviously going to be using their own phones and taking photos, which at the end of the day we will be kind of collating and, or if we can, depending on reception, posting as the day progresses. But please, we, the staff are there to look after the children. Safety is paramount, so they will take photos when they can. We can't guarantee it's all the children, and we can't guarantee they will be posted. There won't be a picture of your child each and every day, I'm afraid. But obviously, we will be doing our best to get as many group shots or as many pictures as we can, and getting them up as soon as we can, so you can kind of follow along and see what a fantastic time they're having. To join that, you need to email the office and request to be added onto to that. We generally only allow kind of people whose names are recognizable, their accounts are recognizable as the parent's surname. So if your account is not something that would be recognized, then please make absolutely sure that you're very clear with the office so they know that. Otherwise, obviously, we will not be accepting it. Obviously, it's with a large group as we have this time, 130 plus children. There will be individual things that perhaps you'd like to discuss, put more personally or on individual basis with myself or other members of the team. So if it's first time away, we have people who are homesick. We have sleepwalkers or night terrors. We have, and we've obviously all the staff have experienced these things before, and obviously we do our absolute best to support your child in every way we can. Obviously there can be birthdays on the trip. Obviously we said medical things already, but obviously sometimes things come up that are new every time. I mean, I think I've been doing this for a fair time now, so I do have a fairly good knowledge of different things that come up. But again, if there's anything I can help with, absolutely I'm here to do that. So kind of getting to the question time, obviously, hopefully, I'm sure Ms. Orton and Madam McCullough have been extremely helpful as we go along, but just to make it clear that I am here to help, and if there are any questions that you don't feel have been answered so far, and I will obviously come off now and just say thank you for those who've come, and I hope that was informative. It will be recorded, and I think it will be posted later in the week as well, if that's something you want to revisit any of that. Not that you want to hear my voice again, I'm sure, but I would normally say safe journey home, but some of you are probably already home or still stuck in the traffic around Apex. I'm not quite sure. Right, just coming off the sharing now, hopefully, if it'll let me. Down. So I'm back in the room. I think Madam McCrow's got a hand up, but I don't know if we've managed to answer a fair number of the questions. What do you think, Madam McCrow? Is there things I've missed or anything that we need answering?
A couple of questions. One is about clipboards. Do they need their own, or is school supplying them?
If they have their own, that's absolutely fantastic. We have a few ragtag ones that will be available, but if they have their own, would be very much appreciated.
And another question is, do they need walking boots as well as trainers? Have walking boots, bring them.
Again, yep. Please, no need to buy anything. We are doing some walks, but they're not, miles and miles. And if you're buying a new pair of boots, they won't have broken them in properly by the time we go, and then you'll be looking at blisters. So a good, comfortable, strong pair of trainers to walk in, and a second pair that will get wet, muddy, what have you, will be fantastic. If you are obviously a family that are more outdoor and you have those things available, you have walking shoes, walking boots even to support the ankles, then absolutely they'd be fantastic. Perhaps I'd suggest don't wear them on the coach on the way up, but obviously they will take up a little bit of space in your bag.
Okay, and I've got some things to add, if I may. Mr. Hayward talked about medication. If that could come in on the Friday, which is June the, oh, it can't, can it? Because we're not in school. So it will come in on the Monday morning, unless it can come in next Friday. But if they're on medication and they need it at home, it'll have to come in on the Monday. Can it please be named in a plastic bag with the dosage, the name of the child, obviously, the dosage, but also the reason for that medication? Because if, hopefully not, if there was a need for medical aid, then the teacher accompanying your child would need to know the exact, what the medication is and exactly why they are taking it. Hopefully that won't be necessary. EpiPens and inhalers. So the school first aiders and the group leaders will have in their possession at all times your child's EpiPen, auto-injector and inhaler that are kept in school, but your child should arrive on the Monday morning with the ones from home. And the ones from home they will keep with them at all times. But whichever member of staff they're with during the day will be carrying the one from school as their extra. Yes, I'm sorry I said that. Travel sickness pills, again in a named bag on that Monday morning. The spares, the children shouldn't have any medication on them during the trip at all. So if they need travel sickness pills, that needs to go on the Monday morning to be handed in, please. And if you know that they're poor travellers, can they please take their travel sickness pill with their breakfast before they arrive at school, so that by the time they're on the coach, they're already working. Sorry. I think that's all I can think of at the moment. Miss Alderton, have you got anything to add?
No, I just answered a question in the chat about where to bring medication. If it, like Madam McCrory said, if it's not necessarily highly important that they take it every day, or you've got lots of spares at home, for example, hay fever, travel sickness tablets, it would be really great to have them next Friday and we can just store them ready to go. If it is obviously really important medicine that they'll be needing, so EpiPens or inhalers, bring those on the morning of the trip. If they're going to bring it in before half term, they can bring it to my office. If it's going to be those really important ones, they can either give it to their form tutor or find me on the morning of the trip to give it to them. We will cross-reference for the inhalers and the EpiPens, we'll cross-reference our list because we wouldn't be able to take them unless we've got it. So yeah, just make sure they bring those in. And then a couple of questions for suitcases. They can bring whatever size bag they like. Those little travel suitcases.
Within reason, Miss.
Pardon?
Within reason.
Within reason, yeah. I was just going to say those little travel suitcases, like cabin bag size, are quite good. The kit bags are okay, but they might be a little bit small. And obviously, if all 131 children bring their kit bag, it's going to be quite a challenge to relocate them afterwards. So yeah, within reason, bring whichever bag they like. And Mr. Hayward, do they need swimming costumes? I don't think
they will be getting wet. And obviously, occasionally, previously, some people have even had wetsuits. Again, not saying in any way you need to buy those. I prefer to jump in and get very cold. Obviously, I have a little bit of extra insulation on me. Don't be so rude. But you know, they're young. We're going to be active. They will get wet, but so a swimming costume to wear underneath is good. But generally, when we're getting wet, there'll be the opportunity to change in a safe and secure place fairly soon after the activity.
Can I also recommend that you pack either some bin bags or some smaller white bags for dirty clothes? Then if they get used to undressing and putting it straight into their bin bag in their suitcase, or a small white bin bag, then hopefully they won't have all the lot. We won't have that sack full of leftover socks, underwear and everything else that normally comes back on these trips that no one ever claims.
Hundreds of socks I get.
Exactly.
No, there's duvets there. They'll probably for the first time in their life learn how to put a duvet cover on, and obviously there's pillows there, and they'll be putting their own pillowcase on, which obviously takes us about half an hour minimum when we first get there. If they'd like to bring their own pillow, if they're more suitable anti-allergen ones or things like that, they're more than welcome to, but they do not need a sleeping bag. Obviously they will need a towel It's up to you whether they have one big beach towel or if they want two kind of smaller ones. So when it gets a bit wet, they can let it dry and use the second one. Obviously, that is completely up to you. So bedding is there, but not towels.
And we will be sending out a kit list together with the recording of this meeting.
Can I just add something about the groups? Obviously, I know it's on lots of your minds as parents and lots of the children's minds. But just please trust that I've been organising the groups. Please trust that I know your children very well, and I obviously want them to go and have a really good time. And I know it's really important to the children that they feel safe and comfortable sharing a room with children, especially when you're away from home for so long. For some of them, it will be the first time going, well, for most of them, I imagine it will be the first time going away for so long. So please trust that I'm taking all of these things into consideration, your child, along with everybody else's in the year group. So there are lots of factors at play. I'm trying my best to make sure everybody will be really happy with their room and will have a really good time. And the same for their activity groups. I'm spending more of my time focusing on the rooming groups, because I know that's really important for the children. That kind of sharing that intimate space with people is really important that we get that right. I will obviously also put thought into the activity groups, but not quite as much, as they won't like get requests or anything for their activity groups. They kind of have to lump that one. But with roomings, they were all asked the names of 5 people that they were happy to share a room with, and they'll be guaranteed one of those people on the group. If more work, then I will put more in, but just a little disclaimer, I'm trying my best to do it, and they'll find out on the day of the trip their rooms, because otherwise it creates too much drama within the year group.
Can I say they all absolutely love it. It's something that I meet up with young men and women years later who, not saying how long I've been at the school, and they tell me that it's obviously one of their favorite things they've done, and they remember it with very fond memories. So even though it might not sound like, they might go, oh, it's such a big issue of the room, I promise you that we're up at, before 7, we're out, before 9, we're active all day, we're active every evening. We're doing leadership skills, we're going to the cinema, we're playing at the park. By the time they come home, I mean, you will have the easiest weekend possible when they get back. They pretty much sleep on the coach coming back, and most people say they sleep half the weekend when they get back. So they love it, and it really isn't something you should worry too much about. I sleep for at least a week. Well, unless there's any other questions or anything else that needs, please obviously email any of us if there's something more we can help with, or obviously, if we need to make a meeting, if you need a face-to-face, if there's something more specific and personal, then obviously that's something we can do as well. But if not, I hope we've answered most of your questions, some of your questions, and obviously hopefully we're now in the position that you're looking forward to your children going. You'd probably love to come as well, but you can't. And obviously enjoy your half term, and we'll see you the other side. Well, thank you very much indeed. Take care, and I'll end it there.